here at the largest Chinese temple in Kuala Lumpur, which is dedicated to Mazu, the goddess of the sea and protector of seafarers. Like many patron gods and goddesses of the Chinese, Mazu was a real person born in the year 960 on an island in Fujian province. She was said to have extraordinary abilities, and there are many versions of her life and how she became revered to as a goddess. The one I like is as follows. Mazu was known to wait for her brothers to return from their fishing trips, especially if the weather was bad. She'd stand by the water wearing a red dress until they'd come back home safely. She also had the ability to astral travel in her sleep, or some say it was a state of self-induced trance. Whatever it was, one night her brothers got caught in a big storm, finding it difficult to steer the boat back. And Mazu was in her dream state and basically went out to the brothers and stopped the storm, allowing them to sail the boats back safely. The brothers actually said that they had seen her out there wearing her red dress. How often she helped seafarers like this during her life remains a mystery. And her death also has a few versions, but she died young, in her 20s. Some say that she refused an arranged marriage and went on a hunger strike, but since neither her father or Mazu changed their minds, she actually ended up dying from starvation. However, after her death, she was still seen out there on the seas, helping boats sail back to the shores during bad weather, and that's how her legend and worship as the goddess of the sea began. Nowadays, there are Mazu temples in 20-plus countries, with estimates as high as over 100 million followers. Now, what's that got to do with Tai Chi? Well, the linking factor here is the boat, or should we say, what floats your boat. Just like a boat flows on the waves, we do the same in Tai Chi. More specifically, when you're shifting your weight from one leg to the other, it's like you're standing on two boats and you sort of rock between the two in a smooth, natural way, kind of like stepping from one boat to another. Try this in just simple sideways weight shifts, first in a narrow stance. The hands can be on your belly, or like how I have them here, to help with balance. Shift your weight to one leg, feel the weight at the bottom of your foot. Then shift to the other leg and feel the weight at the bottom of that foot. Do this back and forth a couple of times slowly, with your mind in your feet. Feeling the weight there, and then starting to feel that weight in your feet as buoyancy. Then try a wider stance. Same thing with feeling the buoyancy in your feet. Also keep your spine at a right angle to the ground and your hips level, so not tilting, whilst trying not to tense your body in any way. When your body is tense, it's harder for the energy to flow and for you to follow that flow. You can also take it into forward and back-legged stances, where the same pointers on the spine and the hips apply. But here also be aware of the knee of your weighted leg. You don't want there to be any pressure on that knee. And just swap legs and repeat on the other side. When you're comfortable with this, and can get a clear idea of the feeling of buoyancy, you can also do it in walking. So, step forward, shift to the forward leg, then to the back leg, and the forward leg again. And then step forward. Repeat on the other side, shift to the forward leg, then to the back leg, the forward leg again, and step forward, rocking the boat from one leg to the other. Try to avoid inertia, So don't go to the limit of your range of movement where inertia or stillness might occur. You want to be able to move effortlessly from one leg to the other. So there's always a bit of movement. There's no stops. When you're okay with doing this in walking, and if you have a Tai Chi practice, you can then put this into the form. Any form, any section of the form, doesn't matter. The way to do it is that you make it the main focus throughout the form and take notice of where it is easier to feel or not feel the boat-like buoyancy happening. How far throughout the form can you ride the waves, is the question. It's like you're floating on two boats, and when you are more weighted on one leg, the pressure goes down to the ground, but should feel buoyant, as though it's a boat that's been pushed down against the water, and it wants to bounce back. Then you follow that floaty feeling back as you shift your weights to the other leg. So you're riding the buoyancy, which is the ebb and flow of your body's fluid dynamics and leg elasticity taking place. Hence the importance of doing it within a tension-free range and speed. You can also play with it freestyle, just flowing with where the boats take you. Don't worry about what the arms are doing. Just feel the weight shift, feel the weight in your feet, the buoyancy in your feet, and eventually you'll feel the buoyancy in your whole leg. Same pointers apply as before with the spine upright, the hips level, the knees, not too much tension in the knees, avoiding tension in the body, and avoiding inertia. But the main thing is just to feel that buoyancy and move with it, however feels natural. And that's the story of Tai Chi and boats, and the goddess Mazu, who brings the boats back home safely. So play with that, just follow the flow and ride the waves. And don't worry, if you get lost, just look for the woman in red.